Thank you for joining me for, again, another quick little catch up on yesterday, lesson 236, and then today, lesson 237. As previously, we are reviewing uh, types of impurity, and in the context of vessels, which is what's being discussed in Mishnah Torah, which is why we're doing the review. All right, reviewing why we're doing the review once again. All right. So positive mitzvah 104 for yesterday, which is the ritual impurity of the Zav. I'm not going to get too deep into what the Zav is, but the Zav is someone who's had an abnormal discharge from their reproductive organs of a man, and this has happened uh, more than once. And For more on that, you can see the other time that we talked about it. They are an Av Hatuma, which they are a primary source of impurity, which means that they can make other things impure through various types of contact. And the Zav, um, I believe, actually is yes. That they are have a higher level of impurity. So uh, there are different levels of impurity. There's a low level of impurity, in which case someone or something could be immersed, for instance, uh, on the day, and and then they're pure again. There's also a higher level of impurity, which would be a 7 day period of impurity. So, for instance, the Zav and the Zava, and other cases, they have to count 7 days of being clean, and then they can immerse and become clean. And I believe the vessels would be the same way. So here I want to read a short chapter from Mishnah Torah that I was studying last night, or I was listening um, to Rabbi Gordon talk about it on Chabad.org, and I thought it was great. And it talked about the Zav, and all of the way impurity interacts with vessels, and if vessels are parts of other vessels, etc. Very interesting. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but here it is. It says, and this is coming from the 3 chapters a day for yesterday of Kalim. This is chapter 12, chapter, I believe it was chapter 22. Sorry. No. Uh, Chapter 21, paragraph 12. It's a little longer. It says, when a bedpost that was deemed impure as a support for a zav was so this zav had a seat on a bedpost, and then the bedpost was attached to the bed, and the bed had previously been pure. Then now the entire bed is considered uh, that it was the support for him, and so the whole thing is rendered impure. If they were separated afterward, the bedpost retains its original status, and now the bedpost is impure because it contacted the support. Because the support, his chair, which was the bedpost, uh, now was an avhatuma, and it passed on the impurity to the bed. Similarly, if a bedpost that had contracted impurity that lasts 7 days was connected to a bed, the entire bed is impure for 7 days, as if it had been a corpse that had touched the bedpost. If one sprinkled the ashes of the red heifer on the bed, So we're talking now in the case of corpse impurity. So you're sprinkling the ashes of the red heifer to purify the bed. It's purified, and the bedpost is also purified. If the bedpost was separated from the bed before the ashes of the red heifer were sprinkled, then the bedpost would retain its original status, and the bed is impure until evening. Um, if a bedpost that was impure until evening was connected to a bed, everything is impure until the evening. If the bedpost was separated from the bedpost retains its original status, and the bed is now pure. For an article that's impure, um, until evening, as so there's the different types of the higher and lower status of impurity. And so the whole bed and the bedpost were, but now you broke off the bedpost, and so the bed is no longer complete. So the bed is now at this point is good to go. And because there's that lower status, the now the bedpost retains its impurity. So it says the bedpost retains its original status, and the bed is impure. For an article that is impure until evening, as a derivative of impurity stemming from a corpse, does not impart impurity neither to a person nor to a vessel, because it is merely a derivative, as we explained. Similar laws apply with regard to a tooth of a plow. So a tooth, the plow that contracted impurity from a corpse then was joined to the plow. So this. In any case, you can see there's you don't have to understand the whole thing, but there's a whole lot of dynamics involved. That's really all I wanted you to see, is that there are lots of things that people had to consider when talking about ritual impurity. If you said, I think my bed is impure, and you're talking to a rabbi or a priest, then they'd be like, well, what's the situation? They have to consider all these things. Anyway, so then finally, we're moving on to lesson 237. Lesson 237 is positive mitzvah 96, which is the ritual impurity of an animal carcass. So this would be, for instance, an animal that was not properly slaughtered, or it died in some other way. It's an animal corpse. And so those animal corpses impart ritual impurity, but it is on a lower level. The sherets, the creeping things, those imparted the higher level of impurity. All right, so that is it. I'm going to go ahead and end the class now. Thank you for joining me, and have a great day in every way.